What's up, everybody? Welcome to Biockickz 3 Raw TV. So we're going to talk about food today a little bit and how a calorie is not a calorie, okay? And how a macronutrient can be stored differently than another macronutrient. We're going to get deep with some of this shit, okay? And this is going to piss people off, but what I have noticed greatly, if you go back and look at all the videos that I made about IFYM, about calories in, calories out in the recent past, you're going to notice that there's not a lot of feedback negatively on those. There's not people pushing back anymore, which I was actually really surprised because within, I say, the last 6 months to a year, the tides have really turned. When I first started making YouTube videos 7 years ago, sorry, I don't want to add a day because people freak the fuck out if they check the facts. So 7 years ago, I started making YouTube videos. I spoke out against calories in, calories out. I spoke out against calorie is a calorie. I've said different foods cause different reactions in the body. You can control your body by using different foods, different amounts, stuff like that. And all I got was Jerry's so fucking dumb. It's because I didn't have a fucking PhD behind my name or a fucking MD, or I fucking didn't go to get a certification for nutrition or some shit. Jerry's fucking dumb. Although all this information is there, and the difference between me and a lot of people is I love looking this shit up. So I'll spend, maybe 3, 4, 5 hours a day if I have that time going through shit. Like I'm on cardio going through shit. I wake up in the morning, I go through shit. While I get shit uploaded, I go through shit. I'm really interested in learning certain things that catch my attention that don't make any sense. And then I really just go to town. And then eventually I find out whatever information, I post it for you guys. So this week, we're going to talk about high fructose corn syrup, which this week has been brought up in a couple different places. Now, the Gorilla Chemist put a post up on Instagram, which fucking made people lose their fucking minds. He's a chemist, all right? He's a fucking biochemist, so get over it, guys. You can't even say that he's not qualified. But okay, now he's dumb too. Jason Gaddy, who's somebody I've known for a couple years, Jason's just got like the biggest heart. He just wants the best for everybody. And, he has been studying this stuff for like 15 years. And I didn't even know Jason had been, looking into like high fructose corn syrup and shit like that long. But he, basically thinks it's like the devil. And if you want to check out what he has to say, go ahead and look on his channel, because he actually said, I hope somebody with a bigger channel makes a video about this high fructose corn syrup. And I was like, well, I was already going to make one anyways, but I'm just going to go ahead and give Jason and the Gorilla Chemist credit for, putting this stuff out there and driving everybody fucking nuts again. Now it's my turn. So without further ado, high fructose corn syrup when I was a kid was okay. It was fine. It was in everything. And then at a certain point, I can't remember when, maybe mid-90s, it was the devil. Oh my God, it's so bad for you. It's fucking bad for you. And it makes you fat, right? It's unhealthy. Like they said these things, but never really tell you why, because we didn't have access to all the information now, like the internet. So it was like whatever they said, like it's healthy, not healthy, it's bad for you, whatever. You're like, okay, cool. You just believed it, right? And then it became, good for you again. And then like last year, I saw commercials on TV promoting high fructose corn syrup. It was like basically giving these facts about how it's no different than regular sugar, and it's fine, and it's actually better for you than the sweeteners, and I'm like, I thought sweeteners were supposed to be fine. No, this stuff's better for you than the sweeteners, just as good as sugar. I mean, it's super healthy for you and all this shit. I was like, okay. And now we're back to this shit is fucking garbage again. Okay, so it's flip-flop back and forth. So what I'm going to do is give you guys some facts today that I don't think many people actually look into, because they just don't care. Me, I care. I want to know. I want to know why there's flip-flopping. I want to know why some people think it's a devil. I know why some people don't, because it tastes good, and the other fucking companies that are making shit want to sell shit. So that's why they're going to say there's nothing wrong with it. And that's fucking completely plausible from where I stand from. But to find out why these people are saying negative things about it, that's what I want to delve into. So why are you saying negative things if they're not true? Then the studies back them up. There's plenty of studies, and multiple studies in humans, by the way, that back this shit up. Now, that being said, we're going to go through a few of these things. It says high fructose corn syrup adds an unnatural amount of fructose to your diet. Now, what's an unnatural amount? You eat a banana, that's a natural amount. You eat an apple, that's a natural amount. You eat any kind of fruit, that's a natural amount. Vegetables, natural amount. So there's a natural amount that's contained in food. When it's isolated and put in products to make it super sweet, that's an unnatural amount. So even if you had 1 can of Coke, or maybe they don't even put it in there anymore, whatever soda now has it in there, because I'm sure that they've changed shit since then. Whatever soda, like full sugar soda, has the high fructose corn syrup in it, that's an unnatural amount. That's too much for your body. I'm going to tell you why. So it says most starchy carbs, such as rice, are broken down into glucose, the basic forms of carbs. However, table sugar and high fructose corn syrup are 50% glucose and 50% fructose. So it's very high in fructose. Glucose is easily transported and utilized by every cell in the body. It's also a predominant fuel source for high-intensity exercise in various processes. Your brain loves that shit. It loves glucose. It says, in contrast, the fructose from high fructose corn syrup or table sugar needs to be converted to fat or glycogen, stored carbs, by the liver before it can be used as fat as well. Now, You take something in with glucose, goes in your bloodstream, gets either used for energy, stored in the liver, stored in the muscles. If your liver and muscles are full, converted to fat, stored as body fat, okay? But readily available, good to go. The fructose, now it has to be either stored as fat first, or so if it's stored as fat, it has to be stored in fat, then liberated to be burned, and then can be used, or stored in the liver first, and then called upon to be used later. So now you have two different things that are technically carb sources, but they work two different ways. They're broken down two different ways and utilized two different ways. Now, let's just keep going on this thing because I want to get this information to you guys. It says, the last few decades, your diet would have contained only a small amount of fructose from natural sources such as fruits and vegetables. In addition to lower concentrations of fructose, fruits contain fiber, water, micronutrients, antioxidants, and none of that applies to high fructose corn syrup, which, it's just basically empty calories if you want to be a Mr. Calorie guy, right? It says basically, most of the things that are happening from the fructose part of, or the combination of fructose, so they kind of do two different things in the body rather than being kind of one way towards or the other. But basically, the more fructose that's in there, the harder it is for your body to actually use that stuff for energy when you break it down. It's also easily converted into fat. So high fructose corn syrup is easily converted to fat when consumed. This is because the fructose is metabolized in the liver. The liver can turn the fructose into glycogen, stored carbs, but it has limited storage capacity. While the amounts of fructose from fruit can be fine, large doses from soda or sweets overload the liver and are converted to fat. So if you had a banana, your body can handle no problem. You had a soda, it doesn't use all that. It can't store all that. So what it's going to do is wind up storing a certain amount, and then the rest of the overflow is going to turn into fat. Now, let's say you were in a fucking caloric deficit, and you decided you were going to have fucking fructose. You're like, I'm going to have, 2 cans of soda a day, and I'm going to fit it into my macros. 2 cans of soda a day, even 1 can of soda a day, it's too much. Don't forget, you may be having fruit during the day too. Let's say you're IFYMer, you have a banana here, an apple there throughout the day, and then you have a can of soda. Fit it all into your fucking macros. Now all of a sudden, your fucking macros are hit, your fucking calories are hit, but you gaining fat. How the fuck are you doing that? Because your liver can't fucking metabolize it. It can't store it, it just fucking turns it into fat. Even though you're hitting caloric maintenance, you're still gaining fat. Like, it happens, and this is one of those things where people don't understand. They're like, well, Jerry, it has to be fucking calories in. If you cut calories, you'll lose weight. You can keep your fucking calories at maintenance and still gain fat. That would be impossible to that crew. But this is the scientific proof about how it works. That's why I'm like, you guys are so into science, but you're not. You're into reading a study that confirms that you can eat shit. You're not into science. Because if you motherfuckers were into science and truly into science, like Lane Norton should know this shit. He's into science, right? If you're truly into science, then you would say, hey, here's the deal. Calories play a role as far as energy is input and output from the body, right? They will help you lose weight on the scale or gain weight depending if you're a deficit or a fucking surplus. However, the type of food you eat will cause hormonal responses. The type of food you eat will cause different diseases to take over. These things are fact. Certain foods will make you gain fat faster than other ones in the same caloric sequence. Like, those are all facts. But these motherfuckers have you believe that it's all about the calories and none of this shit even exists. This stuff is going on inside your body every time you eat it, whether you want to believe it or whether you know it or not. My thing is, I just want to know it. Like, I am super interested in it, and this helps me learn, well, fuck, if I got, a client who's in the off season and they want to fucking drink soda, you know what? They're going to fucking measure that shit to about a half a can instead of a whole can and not eat any fruit that day. Why? Because we're going to try to keep that fucking stored in the liver. We're trying not going to spill over. Like, you can use the information in these things to help yourself and other clients to where they can stay leaner. Now, this is one of my secrets to getting my clients leaner faster. I know what this stuff does and how to manipulate it. And how do I know? Because I'm reading this stuff. And when I read it, I apply it, and it works in real life. It's not just a study of someone that fucking said something that could have been hired by the food companies. You guys get where I'm going with this shit, right? It will, if high fructose corn syrup, will increase your risk of obesity and weight gain. Long-term studies in humans show excessive quantities of sugar or highly fructose corn syrup play a key role in obesity. In one study, healthy adult volunteers were given drinks containing either glucose or fructose. When comparing the two groups, the fructose drink did not stimulate regions of the brain that control appetite to the same extent that the glucose did. Fructose can also cause visceral fat accumulation. Visceral fat surrounds your organs and is the worst type of fat linked to health issues such as diabetes and heart disease. Moreover, the availability of high fructose corn syrup and sugar is also increased the average calorie intake, a key factor in weight gain. Research suggests that people now consume over 500 calories per day from sugar, which may be 300% more than 50 years ago. Again, they're talking about calories, right? So they're like, here's about the calories. This is going to satisfy the calorie people, so they can't argue that it has to do with the calories. But guess what? you will fucking have more visceral fat, right? Not sub-Q fat, visceral fat. So if you talk to these fucking the calories in, calories out, they may not even know what visceral fat is. All they think about is the fat between the skin. They don't even know it's called subcutaneous fat. They just go, I'll drop fat. I'm going to get my fucking muscle showing. Like, that's how fucking dumb most of them are. I mean, I don't want to say dumb, but how I don't want to say uneducated. I just want to say how fucking ignorant. I guess we'll go with ignorant. But also, they also noticed that with the fructose, your brain wasn't satisfied as much as the glucose. Which means that now, that signal going to your brain is not going to be the same, keeping you fucking full or not satisfied. Keeping you satisfied for a longer period of time. It makes you hungrier. So even though the same amount of calories could be going to your body from fructose, it will make you hungrier and make you store visceral fat more. All right? These are things like, this is stuff that is like, this is some serious shit, okay? Like, this is stuff that we all want to know. We want to get lean. We want to control our bodies. We want to be healthy. Guess what? This is the shit, not calories. Excessive intake is a key cause of diabetes. So excessive fructose or high fructose corn syrup consumption. It does not say in sugar like the other ones do. So they're not comparing this to sugar. They're saying excessive fructose or high fructose corn syrup consumption, meaning excessive fructose, meaning even if it's just from apples, bananas, whatever, excessive fructose or high fructose corn syrup. I need to say this, okay? Because people think fruit's the best thing in the world. It's amazing stuff. It's great, but it can also be harmful overdone. Okay, done. Can lead to insulin resistance, a condition that can result in type 2 diabetes. In healthy individuals, insulin increases response to the consumption of carbs, transporting them out of the bloodstream into the cells. However, the regular consumption of excess fructose can make your body resistant to insulin's effects. Eventually, this decreases the flexibility of your cells to metabolize carbs. Long-term, both insulin and blood sugar go up. Insulin levels drop and the blood sugar goes up. So, I mean, we're not going to go into, there's a ton of shit on here. Other diseases, it talks about how it also causes inflammation. Excess fructose causes harmful substances, increase harmful substances called advanced glycation end products, AGEs. I've never seen that before. Hey, whatever. Which may harm your cells and make you age faster. Greater risk for inflammatory diseases such as gout. Increased inflammation in the body overall. Health issues linked to highly fructose corn syrup. I mean, there's tons of stuff in here. Heart disease is one of the things that they're talking about with it. And reduced life expectancy. All from high fructose corn syrup. So here's the deal, guys. Do whatever the fuck you want. Like, I don't think you guys are really understanding that. I don't fucking care. But the fact of the matter is, calories are not all created equal. Macros are not all created equal. And the more you learn about how these different things affect your body, the more control you're going to have over your physique, your health, and your long-term longevity. Trust me, guys, I know. I used to be like you guys. I used to eat all kinds of garbage. I feel better at 43 years old. I have more energy. I do more things. I fucking feel 10 times better at 43 than I did at 25, than I did at 30. Why? Because I'm eating right now, guys. I'm not doing the fucking calorie thing. I'm not counting the fucking calories and fucking macros as far as IF weigh. I'm not doing that shit. I'm trying to make better choices, and it's paying off in fucking dividends. So hopefully you guys can just take this stuff. If you look up the dangers of high, the first thing that pops up in Google is fructose corn syrup. That's the first thing. The dangers of high. The dangers of high. That's what I looked up originally. The dangers of high. Fructose corn syrup pops up as the number one thing. Why? Because it's fucking in the search engine, because motherfuckers want to know what the dangers are. So check it out. Do the research for yourself. Don't take my word for it. But bottom line is, guys, there's shit out there that's going to fucking harm you. Whether you believe it or not, it's still going to fucking happen. But being educated doesn't mean you have to have an MD after your name. Being educated doesn't mean you have to have a PhD after your name. Being educated doesn't mean that you don't fucking swear. You don't say the word fuck. It doesn't mean that you don't fucking grow a weird beard or whatever, okay? Being educated means that you go out there and you read things for yourself and you learn how to understand them and you learn how to apply them. That's what education is. It's not about a test score. It's not about a PhD. So I got news for you. There's a lot of people out there doing a lot of great things that never fucking went to school for a PhD or any of that bullshit, that come up with things like fucking inventions and fucking new theories and shit that blow people away, that have nothing to do with what they fucking used to do. They just figure it out by getting educated and learning. So hopefully you guys will check more of this out and see where it goes for you guys. So biostrengthtraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. Biostrength.com is the blog. It's the high fructose corn syrup is bullshit bicep, and we are out.